Hi, Paraton Weather Meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Monday, July 26th, the last week of the month of July, and the pattern will continue much as it has been for the past few weeks across much of the nation, specifically the northwestern part of the nation, the north central part of the nation. Looks like they'll both experience hotter than normal conditions over the next several days. Continuation of the monsoonal flow of air, monsoonal moisture in the Four Corners region of the U.S., where additional significant rainfall looks likely over the next several days or so. I'm talking about Arizona, at least the western part of New Mexico, parts of Colorado, and Utah as well. Even in Nevada and California, there'll be some monsoonal moisture producing some rainfall over the next several days. In the Mid-Atlantic region, the northeast U.S., northwest flow aloft in this evolving weather pattern will kind of prevent any kind of an extended period of hot weather. It looks like it'll be 90 to 95 degrees over the next couple of days in the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor, perhaps into Wednesday or Thursday or so down across D.C. But northwest flow aloft will bring more comfortable air for much of the second half of the week to places like Philadelphia, New York City, Boston, again with a comfortable air mass coming in for the second half of the week. Let's start off by looking at the tropical situation. There is a wave that's sitting right to the east of northeastern Florida. It's not going to go anywhere really over the next couple of days, and it will enhance rainfall right in this part of the southeastern states, the northeastern part of Florida, southeastern part of Georgia, something we'll keep an eye on. But again, this is the only activity right now as far as the Atlantic Basin is concerned. Has been overall relatively quiet for the last couple of weeks. So we'll continue to monitor this. Again, some heavy rainfall along the northeastern coastline of Florida and southeastern part of Georgia. Well, in terms of total rainfall as depicted here by NOAA for the next 5 days between this morning, Monday morning, and Saturday morning, a couple areas of interest. First of all, here is that kind of enhanced precipitation amount across northeastern Florida, southeastern Georgia, associated with that tropical wave that's just kind of sitting off the coastline. Look at this, all of this out in the Four Corners region of the U.S. This is quite impressive for this time of the year. Again, a continuation of a monsoonal flow of air with moisture feeding in from the south and the east into places like Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah. And again, as I mentioned up front, even some precipitation all the way into Nevada, and look at this, all the way into the eastern part of California across the Sierra Nevadas and Death Valley region. Getting some rainfall this time of the year is a little bit unusual and certainly beneficial because this area had experienced drought conditions, but certainly that has been alleviated in places like Arizona over the last few weeks. And it looks like, again, a continuation of a wet weather pattern for at least the Four Corners region of the Southwest. A lot of rainfall also across the northern plains. Well, let's take a look at last night's ensemble run of the GFS. This is the run from 0Z. Really two main features across the nation for the current 5-day period that we're in. First of all, strong high pressure ridge centered over the Rockies, producing hotter than normal conditions from the northern plains all the way across to the northwestern part of the nation. Again, kind of a continuation of the pattern that has existed for much of the month of April. But in the northeastern part of the nation, notice kind of a northwesterly flow in the upper part of the atmosphere. And while it'll start off quite warm for the next couple of days, much of the second half of the work week looks pretty comfortable across much of the Mid-Atlantic region, at least the northern half of the Mid-Atlantic region, and throughout the northeastern part of the nation. Now let's just move forward here over the next 5-day period, and here we go. This is days 2 to 6, days 3 to 7, 4 to 8, and days 5 to 9. Let's go all the way out to days 6 to 10. This is now really going right into the first week of the month of August. Still some warmer than normal conditions across the north central, northwestern part of the nation. That high pressure region kind of settles down to the south and east, but still a little bit of an upper level trough sitting over New England, and comfortable air continuing to push into the northeastern quadrant of the nation as we go out to days 6 to to 10. Again, that is moving into the first week of the month of August. Well, those were the 500 millibar height anomalies that we just looked at from the ensemble run of the GFS. How does that impact 850 millibar temperatures? Excuse me, we're looking down at the surface. These 2 meter temperature anomalies here for the current 5-day period. Again, not bad at all for the last week of April up across New England, northeastern part of the nation, going into southeastern Canada. But here's the hot weather out across the north central states, all the way across Montana, where it has been a hot month of July, to the Pacific Northwest. Let's continue to move forward here. Again, keep in mind strong upper level ridging over the Rocky Mountains and an upper level trough sitting and spinning over southeastern Canada, northeast U.S. So the result is increasingly cooler than normal conditions here across the Great Lakes, interior New England especially, but even all the way down in the Mid-Atlantic region. This is now days 6 to 10, again going into the first week of the month of August. So can't complain about the weather in this part of the nation, but still hot across the northwest, north central states. And then this area, the Four Corners region, close to normal because of all that cloud cover and again some decent rainfall over the next several days. Places like Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah, and even again into Nevada and at least the eastern half of the state of California. Well, let's walk through some of the surface forecast maps from last night's operational run of the GFS. This is not the ensemble version, but the operational version. And here's a reflection of that low pressure system, the tropical wave sitting right off the northeast coastline of Florida. And again, this will enhance the precipitation across northeastern Florida, southeastern Georgia over the next 24 to 48 hours or so. Expect some heavy rainfall really all the way down the east coast of Florida over the next 24 to 48 hours or so. A lot of moisture sitting in that area. Now let's move forward here from Monday morning into the afternoon. Probably a rain-free day in the I-95 corridor region. Getting pretty warm. High temperatures near the 90-degree mark. Places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City for this afternoon. Let's move forward here. We have a weak frontal system in that northwest flow aloft that will push into the northeastern states by midweek. And with high pressure building to the north, expect quite a nice day on Wednesday in places like Boston, New York City, Philadelphia. Maybe a little bit of relief down across D.C. That's a little bit questionable, more questionable. Certainly Philadelphia, New York City, probably highs in the mid-80s on Wednesday afternoon, perhaps still at 90 degrees across D.C. Let's move forward here. Again, remember, northwest flow aloft here in the northeastern part of the nation, and hot from the northern plains all the way to the Pacific Northwest. And here is a reflection of some of that monsoonal moisture going into the Four Corners part of the nation. Another frontal system pushes into the Great Lakes and northeastern part of the nation by Thursday, Friday time frame. And again, that'll result in some pretty comfortable air across the Great Lakes and Mid-Atlantic, northeastern part of the nation by, let's say, Friday, Saturday time frame. Meanwhile, still lots of moisture out across much of the interior western U.S. So kind of a continuation of the pattern we've seen over the past few weeks as we get to the end of the month of July and into the beginning part of August. That's it for now. For ParatonWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.